Hello, welcome to another video with me, Umber Rays, and the music might be a little loud, so I'm going to turn it down just a smidge. How you doing, guys? We are here for the recap tonight. Ignore the cool statue. The lottery is starting tomorrow for this, and best of luck to me. Look forward to a video about this as well. If you want to see a guy potentially just sink money into it. Anyway, tonight we had our live stream for JP Wotive, and it was a stream. It was definitely a stream with information, and before we get into it, personally, I'm just going to state that I am pretty unexcited about a lot of stuff that was announced tonight. And it's not necessarily a bad thing, it's just not particularly for me. And I'll explain about that. But much as my shirt kind of shows here, we got some love for some other people who are going to be excited about it. I'm not going to rain on your parade. So first off, this was the Order of the Night unit, event, and campaign. And last but not least, roadmap. And that's essentially what we are looking at. Of course, there is the constant presence, but let's get into it right away. You've already seen from the title card as to who the character is, and yeah, Melinia is going to be our brand new character. Shoutouts to the guys for actually putting it for one time the element in the actual video, because all the time people are just wondering what is the element, and we gotta wait for a little bit. But yeah, Earth Elemental 100 cost, non-limited character Melinia will be added to the game on July 1st for JP and about 3 to 4 months later for Global. She is a dual gunner with a subjobs Hunter as well as Bricklancer, which is an interesting combination all in all. Now, let me just get Umber's view out of it. Why am I not excited for this character? Well, first of all, it's one of Moraga's nations, which is just one of the nations I'm just not super keen on. Melinia as well, I'm just not overly crazy about her design. A little too busy or something. I don't know. There's something about it I just don't really like. And most importantly, Earth is just my worst element, and I have no interest in actually making Earth work because I'm already trying lightning and a little bit of wind and fire and all these, and something has to fall by the wayside. So great news for other. Now, let's get back to just the general take on it. So Melinia is going to be an Earth Elemental Gunner, which is interesting as it's not something that Earth has particularly had too terribly much of in the past. And I don't necessarily know if this is going to really make it a thing. She might just be a good Earth Elemental character. She might be better on a primarily range-based team with multiple elements. Don't really know, and at this point, it's fine. This character is being Earth might rub some people the wrong way because I think earlier on in the story she was a Dark Elemental character. And yeah, it's just what it is. The last character to come out on JP was a Thunder Fist character, so now we have an Earth range character. The way it is. Taking a look at her Limit Burst, it is a damage ability that that can remove physical-based barriers that also causes the poison status effect. It is single target, and if an effect is active because of this Limit Burst, then General Human Killer will be down for the unit that has been affected by it. Now, this might also include another status effect, so for now I'm just going to say this. I'm generally less impressed with her Limit Burst based on the fact that it is a really high ranged ability. Normally I really like ranged abilities and whatnot, but if you look at this ability and what it essentially is trying to do, it's doing damage, it's removing physical barrier and causing poison. That is generally good on the target that it will hit, which is a tank. Almost like if she has the AP, if she can do it, and if it is very feasible that she can use this Limit Burst immediately, then she's essentially going to use it on a tank or a unit with haste most of the time. And I do think poison and the DPS and the barrier removal is very good in that scenario, but the human killer is kind of a waste there. again, you could see this limit burst potentially being used later if it has a high amount of AP cost, but it is a general concern I have of just getting the most out of this, where if you're really trying to get, like, this ability kind of is doing two different things, and and most of the time it feels like you're either going to get half of it or half of it, and if there's good poison resistance, you might not be getting really much off of this ability. Again, I don't want to shit on Melinia because she isn't even out yet. Once her kit is available on WotoCalc, we'll have a much better idea of where she stands and how successful she will be. But this is something that I am thinking could be a negative towards this limit burst, despite it being incredibly appealing upon first look. As for Melinia, this is becoming very, very common. Bottom right ability is an ability that gives re-raise cancellation to other units. We've seen this quite a bit. It also gives a protect status effect and a little more survivability, which I think is very valuable and good, and I think it's great for on the earth element where a lot of units are already kind of more defensive naturally. It works very, very nice in combination. Re-raise cancellation is starting to feel very, very dime a dozen, which means that it's essentially hard for me to get overly excited about it when we're seeing it more and more. Again, it is an asset, it is valuable, it is feeling just very, very common. Top right ability. One more thing I want to say. Someone recently commented saying, hey, Immortal Spirit / survive fatal damage is just less and less appealing as more and more removal gets around. Same thing is kind of happening for re-raise, and it's getting to the point of being less exciting. Top right ability is a AoE that deals medium damage, and if multiple targets are in the AoE, it does more damage. But the fact that it's already medium and its range and AoE isn't the biggest has me less than incredibly excited for this ability, so I'm just going to say that I'm not super enthused about the top right one. Although it depends on the numbers, which we don't have. Bottom left ability is a multi-select target, and these are always good. These actually feel really good. And if you look at the range that she has on this, it is quite high, and any range boosters will make this effectively better. Not only is it dealing medium damage though, it's also causing the sleep status effect. So interesting combination of stuff. If anything in Melnia's kit I do like, it's the bottom left one, because it is just an overall better style. I think that Melinia, despite some of my concerns, will still be very, very strong, and potentially it's just where she's going to fit really well, whether it's with King Bradley and Dialdo, or potentially with some other Earth Elemental characters or some range characters. We'll wait and see. As I have said at the start of this video, this is a character who is just not for me. So I'm going to be taking mostly just a general kind of outlook now that I've said basically my stance on her and some of my concerns. Until her full kit is out, I won't be able to do a real evaluation on her, but yeah, this is one that I will not be doing before, but I will give a fair shake once I've seen them. Now, continuing on, Melinia will also get, there it is, a new weapon, which is always a good sign when these characters, it is fairly common, but it is nice to see a new weapon showing up for her. Also, Melinia should have Mikiri, as it's called in JP, or the evasion counter, if I'm correct, and if that's the case, that's always valuable. Alright, this, however, is, this might be something that globalers want to keep an eye on. Essentially, if you get Melinia and within the time period can do her 10,000 quest usage, you'll actually get certain rewards back. It is the literal devotion to a character quest, and it is, I feel like, just trying to get players to spend more time in-game kind of thing. This is just for Melinia people. So next up, the job BC for the second week of JP has already been announced, and it is a job-based BC for essentially probably Gunners and Melinia. No more details were given, and we'll see about it in the future. Story update will be coming, and this, the very first Reincarnation Festival, a festival where, according to what I've heard, is essentially a campaign to help people with the most popular characters in certain elements. Now, as you can see, no limited cost characters here, so and I do believe that what the campaign essentially allows you to do is get shards or spheres for the characters that are the most popular. I guess this is generally okay. It probably should be a little more free than it sounds like it's going to be, but this is the first time we've ever seen this, so put a pin in it, and if you want to know how it is, how good it is or bad it is, ask again later. I'll do another video about it. Next up, it's been 3,000 years, but JP is finally going to see another raid. And this raid is against Europa. It is going to be obviously a Thunder Elemental raid, so good for Earth Elemental characters. Go figure with Melinia coming out. And also important, the accessory looks to be made for Gunners. It seems to be some kind of scope. Make me think that it's going to be an accuracy. And for playing the raid, you also get a new vision card, 45 cost, interestingly enough, with the Sahagin prints on it, which should be a brand new Esper, SSR Esper, and hey, guess what? Maybe we're finally getting a water elemental Esper. It's been only 3,000 years, right? Jokes aside, that will be taking place on July 7th, and we'll see if that's particularly good. Moving on, we'll skip ahead a bit, talk about this next, which is the next of the wave battles. Looks like we have Dagger and Mace in this one, which will be happening in July. Now, talking about the roadmap, which is the last little bit that we need to talk about. Roadmap has some stuff, nothing that really particularly caught my eye, except for one thing, which actually got a little bit of a focus for talking about, which is limit burst upgrades. So certain units are going to be getting limit burst upgrades, with these guys being essentially the first. How wide scope it will be and how fast the upgrades will happen, we'll have to kind of wait and see. But this might be something that some people are hoping for if one of these characters... God, I don't even want to say her because I'm totally going to say it. But yeah, there was also some stuff to do with Arena and the way potentially I think Arena's essentially going to get maybe some changes and whatnot. But yeah, that's kind of basically it. I'm just going to pull up one other thing really quickly, see if I can anything. Don't think I did. In case. I mean, there is other stuff in the actual roadmap that is available to talk about, but at this point in time, I'm not super worried about it. Melinia is a physical-based character, giving debuffs, double attacks, canceling re-raise, campaign for her, raid boss, new vision card, 6-star equipment for the paladin armor, as well as I think it's the white marshmallow hat. Reincarnation Festival. Details have not been decided yet, so ask again later. Wave battle, story update. Oh, good, I'm getting spammers. Awesome. Oh, super. Screwing. I say screw. Yeah, screw it. Future roadmap. So here we go. July, replenishing guild barracks food, releasing the pedestals, adding single and range attack resistance character stages, adding defense, mental, and AP to arm sorting, as well as strengthening limit bursts, strengthening old characters, and exclusive items added. New weapon type icons for August, September. We'll have UI improvements, as well as party formations, which I feel like we've been hearing about that for 7 years. And for late August, limited arena, multi-defense quests, and quests that can change map effects. So there you go. That is the recap. You have now been recapped. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. So if you're an old regular Mont, Stern, or Melinia fan, look forward to their Limit Burst details soon. And if you're an Earth Elemental person, keep an eye on Melinia, or just a ranged enthusiast. There you go. But that's all for me. Thank you so much for watching. I am going to get out of here and go play a certain game. But at the end of this video, I'm going to give you just a little bit of a cool thing that's happening in Japan this summer. The Final Fantasy XIV 10th anniversary is taking place here in JP, and in Osaka we are going to get a fireworks and music festival. It doesn't quite fit the screen, but you get the idea. And I'll be going to it. I am really looking forward to this because FF14 music is absolutely fantastic, and I'm just really excited to go see this. Hopefully I'll be able to do a description video later, and maybe even take some video to show off. But yeah, that's it for me. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and see you next time.